Okay, let's see if this is better. Hopefully my head's not cut off. Hopefully I'm loud enough. Alright, let's see. So we're talking to a camera. Alright, hi, my name is Van. This is going to be my first movie review. It's going to be on the movie Glass. I understand this is a pretty old movie. It came out in 2019, but it's recently came out on Netflix, and I figured since everyone's staying home and I got a lot more free time, so I figured why not watch it and share my thoughts about it. This review will contain spoilers, so take that as a warning. The film Glass centers around David Dunn and his conflict with the Horde. It was pretty interesting at the beginning of the film, seeing David Dunn sort of act as a vigilante and his son sort of act as his guy in a chair, sort of like he has like a microphone and his son is sort of telling him the location of where the bad guys are and sort of like being his eye in the sky in a way. It was very interesting seeing all the different characters from Split and Unbreakable sort of interact. One in particular was Mr. Glass interacting with Hedwig, one of the Horde's many personalities. Hedwig is supposed to be a 9-year-old personality, so it's very interesting to see someone as intelligent as Mr. Glass sort of interacting with him and sort of communicating and connecting. I have seen Unbreakable and Split, and those are very good movies. I would recommend highly watching them if you have not. And although I feel like this movie is a bit messier than those two, but that is expected because it is a crossover as well. So it introduces more characters, and with more characters, then it gets more complicated because you have to make sure everyone gets the appropriate amount of screen time and everyone gets fleshed out and all their conflict is explored. So it's expected. Reviewing this film had me constantly comparing it to the Marvel movies and the DC movies, because in a way they are in the same genre, that being of a sort of superhero crossover film. But if you've seen Unbreakable and Split, and as well as this movie, you'll know that these movies take a lot more down-to-earth and realistic approach to the superhero genre. So at the same time they are in the same category, but at the same time they're not. So it's kind of hard to compare. The first issues I had with the film was eventually all three main characters, the Horde, or Kevin, David Dunn, Mr. Glass, are sent to this sort of mental institution which is managed by a Dr. Ellie Staple, and she sort of introduces the idea to them that they aren't superpowered individuals, that they're just regular people. And I sort of saw what the movie was going for this. I didn't really feel it for me personally. It just felt like when you watched Unbreakable and Split, like those movies work so hard to sort of show how enhanced these individuals are, and in this movie sort of denying that in a way, or it sort of seems like a step backward. It is revealed later on in the movie that the reason Dr. Staple introduces the idea that they are not superpowered, that it is all in their head, was in order for her to sort of silence them in a way, to make sure no one finds out about them. It is revealed near the end that she works for an organization that specializes in sort of keeping all these superhuman people quiet to make sure no one notices. For Mr. Glass himself, I feel like he was a bit more interesting in this film than he was in Unbreakable. This is technically his film, as his name is in the title. Particularly there's a sequence where he sort of fools everyone. At the beginning of the film, he fools everyone, making them think he's some sort of vegetable in a chair. but there's a whole sequence that shows that how he sort of outsmarts everyone in the mental institution and sort of finds his way to escape and even convince the Beast to help him. It did catch me off guard what ended up happening to all three main characters near the end of the film. I was very kind of surprised and shocked about that decision, because it sort of closes off the idea any idea for a sequel for this movie. Maybe Shyamalan wanted to end the series off with this one. I can't say for sure, but he definitely ended the film without much of a cliffhanger. There is a part of the film where it is sort of prompted by Mr. Glass that the final act of the film would take place at a place called the Osaka Tower, which is the tallest building in the world. And the film doesn't actually end up going to this place. And part of the reason was for a twist that happens near the end. And personally, I feel like it was a bit underwhelming to sort of introduce something climactic and then simply dismissing it. But then again, this is more of a down-to-earth, realistic superhero film. A final battle taking place at the tallest tower in the world would be something expected from a Marvel or a DC movie. It's raining really hard. Overall, I feel like Glass was a pretty good film. Not as good as Unbreakable or Split, I'd say, but it definitely isn't terrible. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Thanks for checking out my review. This is a new thing I'm trying out, and let me know what you think about the video down below.